All right, let's talk about how we can make time in our busy lives to do our side project. Now, in this whole class, we're going to be talking about productivity for creatives, productivity for people who want to start a side hustle. The thing all of this relies on is actually making the time to do it in the first place. We all have these things we want to do. We all want to, I don't know, learn to code or learn the guitar or learn a language. Or, these are all absolutely viable side projects to do, but we have to make time for them. Now, there's kind of three things that I like to keep in mind when it comes to thinking about how to make time for stuff. Number one is that I really don't like the phrase, I don't have time. I try and scrub that phrase from my vocabulary as much as I can. I don't have time is a complete myth. Like, when we say I don't have time, what we're really saying is this thing is not a priority. If, for example, you're saying right now, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I don't have the time. And I would say, okay, I will give you $1 million if you upload a YouTube video and start a YouTube channel. You're jolly well going to make the time to do that, right? Because the incentive is now reasonable to the point where you're going to do it. So it's not that you just don't have the time, it's that you're choosing not to make the time because it's not a priority. And so for me, whenever I'm tempted to think, oh, I don't have time to do this, I'm doing all these things, I don't have time to do something extra, I always think, no, it's not that I don't have time, it's that I'm actively choosing not to make the time. I am in control of my time, I can do what I want, I can set my schedule, and therefore, it's entirely down to me whether or not I make the time for this. Secondly, I absolutely love the idea of time blocking. This is when we use a calendar. By the way, if you're not using a calendar, you should use a calendar for your personal life as well as for your work or school life. Anyway, time blocking is when we block out a period of time in our calendar to do our side project or to do whatever we want. Right now, I'm filming this class and I have time blocked in my calendar, film Productivity for Creators class, which is why I'm sitting down here to do it. And when it comes to other side projects that I work on, like I'm learning how to draw, I'm learning how to do freestyle rap at the moment, I'm trying to get better at piano and guitar and singing, and trying to become a writer as well. All of those things are time blocked in my calendar to various degrees. Like I've got 3 hours a week where I practice art. I've got 3 hours a week where I have a workout with my personal trainer because I'm trying to get 6-pack abs. And the stuff that I'm failing at, i.e. the music stuff, is because I haven't got it time blocked in my calendar. Whenever I time block something, it ends up getting done. I don't really like having empty space in my calendar where I can kind of do what I want. I always like to fill it up with, like in the morning, I kind of decide, okay, if this day was going completely according to plan, what would I want to be doing in that time slot in my calendar? And I think just giving myself the default that, right now it is 12:53, from 12 to 1 p.m. I'm filming this class. If it was a gap in my calendar, I would have had so much decision fatigue. I would have not known what I could do, what I should be doing, what I feel like doing. I would have ended up on my phone just scrolling through Twitter. But now I'm sitting here and enjoying myself filming this class because I've time blocked it in my calendar. So if you're thinking of starting a side project, and you probably are if you're watching this, or if you want to level it up, literally open up your calendar right now, or sign up to Google Calendar if you don't have one, and just look for the next week and just time block half an hour or an hour every day, or even 15 minutes or 20 minutes, or even 5 or 10 minutes. Like, we can all find a little bit of time to work on our side projects. These are generally long-term projects that are going to lead to, medium and long-term fulfillment and fun. So we should make the time for it. All it involves is putting down a block in our calendar. And thirdly, and this is something I'm going to talk about a little bit later as well, I really like the idea of productive downtime. Now, when I was working full-time as a doctor, I would be on call for quite a lot of the time. But it wouldn't be that I was working 100% of that time. Let's say, a patient is coming to the emergency department and I've accepted them to our gynecology ward. And it takes about 20 minutes for them to sort of be wheeled across and all the paperwork to be done. And in that 20 minutes, if there's nothing to do, I would sit on the computer at work, or I would sit on my phone, and I would just plan out video ideas or write scripts on my videos or write blog posts, because those were the side projects that I was working on at the time. And so it's really about intentionally using that downtime. I'm not saying that every single moment of spare time that you have should be productive and should be taken up with some activity or another. But if you're really trying to start a side project and you're enjoying yourself doing it, then you can take these 20 minutes, these 5-10 minutes here and there. These days, if I want to learn something, I watch YouTube videos about it while I'm on the toilet, rather than scrolling through Twitter, which is what I normally do when I'm on the toilet. And therefore, being on the toilet becomes productive downtime, and it just makes me more likely to make the time to do this side project. So, a few different ways of how we can make time in our lives, but ultimately, I think just remembering point number one, that our time is entirely within our control, and I don't have time is a myth. If we don't have time to do something, it's because we are actively choosing not to make the time for it. And therefore, it's our responsibility and not anyone else's to make that time in our life. So yeah, I hope that was vaguely useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.